Mzize, really getting some fairly rough treatments. Mehdi Mshakshek, who did come off the bench in the previous game, but asked to do a job at centre-half, with both their regular centre-halves suspended. Mudatir Yahya tries to dink it in, but easily collected by El Harab. 24-year-old goalkeeper who kept 18 sheets in 19 league outings for Raja Casablanca last season. First season for Raja. Anasba. Well, it was won by Osama, but under no pressure from Ibrahim Hamid, who initially made a dart towards him to challenge him in the air and then backed off. He'll have his hands full, that's for sure, Hamid and Job. Lamloui taller, significantly taller than both of them, but a statistic that you just have to marvel at. Ibrahim Hamid, over the course of this competition, has competed in 27 aerial duels and has won 23 of them. That's him on the ball. He's played it out to Hussein. And that's for a man who stands under 6 foot tall. So the chink there by Ba. Well won by Kagoma. He's the man that will be expected to break up play. Was suspended for their third match against Madagascar. And they did have a few issues trying to fill his shoes. Mzize. Mzize can't get away this time around. Bach. Shakhsher. So that looks like the centre-half pairing. Bach did play in a central defensive midfield role in the previous game. Kairi drafted in to take that spot. Here he is again, Anas Bach. Hails from Tarfaya on Morocco's west coast. It's a good pass between the lines. And Baba really pinged it into the feet of Lamloui, couldn't control. Suleiman will watch that one over. Tariq Sektoui, 48-year-old, born in Fez in Morocco. Had a fairly decent playing career. Actually won the African Youth Championship Player of the Tournament in 1997, the tournament we now know as the Under-20 AFCON. Lamloui. Just won the league title, Botola Pro League, with Aris Berkan, their first ever league title in Morocco. Gets it in. And upheld by Dixon Job. Job almost taking a boot to the face there. Solid 24-year-old from Morogoro. Forms a brilliant partnership with Hamid for both the national team and for Young Africans. Our match referee today did oversee Morocco's 2-0 win over Angola to open the tournament. The game played out at the Nyayo National Stadium in Nairobi. Kapombe. Spoke very confidently at the press conference yesterday, expanded on what it would mean not only for the team but for the nation as well. It's a brilliant opportunity for them to venture deep into this competition with the home ground advantage. They will have once again for the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations. They have qualified for the 2025 edition coming in Morocco. They'll be based in Fez and Rabat, taking on Nigeria, Tunisia and Uganda as Morocco look to get in behind. Good defending from Ibrahim Hamad. Classy centre-half. And one of the toughest men out there. He's still actually an active military service, was recently promoted to sergeant. So, corner to deal with. Dixon Job gets it away fairly easily. That hasn't yet strayed out, so an opportunity to get on the break, and the referee providing a final warning here to Khalid Baba. Man, like his coach, born in Fez, where Tanzania will become very acquainted with this coming December and January. Lamlu manages to lay it off here to Bougrin. Stab through. It's a nice idea, and it may still break kindly for them, but cleaned up by Tanzania. Bougrin already showing the combative side of his game, a man who turned 29 last month. Unlike the rest of his teammates, but quite similarly to the full international side, born outside of Morocco, as Lamloui looked to create the space there to fire off the shot. Man who would love to stand alone as the top goal scorer in this tournament, currently on 3, level with a couple other players. It's a nice ball for Hussein Mohammed. An opportunity here to cross, and an easy claim for Al Harar. But an illustration of what Mohamed Hussein is capable of. Long-time servant of Simba Football Club, who has just moved to their bitter rivals, Young Africans, where he will play next season. Couldn't agree terms with Simba after 11 years at the side. He suffered bitter disappointment at the hands of a Moroccan team just a couple months ago. Started both legs of the CAF Confederation Cup final against Ares Berkane. have a few representatives out there this evening. Nice little return ball to Lamlui, who hits it. Zipped up fairly awkwardly, but Suleiman dealing with it competently. Born in Sogdia in Zanzibar City, just 25 years of age, goal minder. You have to be excellent between the sticks to displace Aish Manula. Back to Chercher. Al-Harar dispenses it out to Bach. Baba laying it off for Kairi. And final pass, not accurate enough. Kagoma to Hussein. Tanzania actually unbeaten in 6 successive Chan matches since their 2-0 loss to Zambia at the 2020 edition, as Morocco sees upon this in a dangerous position. Lamlui with a fairly inaccurate pass. He's lucky to see a teammate latch onto it, and a chance still alive there as Khalid Baba with a few options to aim for. Can't find a teammate. Now his side, Ahmed Suleiman, trailing in the possession stakes. Nicknamed Morocco, incidentally. It's a moniker he's had since he was about 6 years old, he informs me. His first name bearing it. Who bore that name. Sumat. The potent fullback. Oh, my apologies there. Balamari, Laksut on the ball now. Although both have been pinned in to this point. Not all too many opportunities for them to overlap just yet. Especially given the makeshift nature of this defense. With Bach on the ball now. Man who joined Asfar from FUS Rabat, where it spent 8 seasons at the beginning of this last campaign. The referee ruling in favor of Tanzania and Hussein. Yusuf Mehri doesn't quite agree. Appeared in all but one of Aris Bakan's league matches on the way to the title. Contributed 5 goals and 3 assists. Tariq Sektoui first represented the national team of Morocco as a player back in the early 2000s. Actually won 3 league titles with Porto after initially starting his career in the Netherlands. He was at AZ Alkmaar before joining the Portuguese outfit. Dixon Job. It's a lovely pass to find Sopu, and then Clement Mzize not able to link up with Faisal Saloom, has been kept very quiet up to this point. Ball one in a great area. Irinado, roar of the crowd. Saloom from a tight angle, and Feitoto doesn't need all too many opportunities to get on the ball. Terrifically talented Azam FC, man. From an inopportune angle, he was hitting the target. Al-Hara got across well. Swung in and easily claimed by the 24-year-old goalminder. Big move he got to Raja Athletic Club, Harar, at the beginning of this previous season from Shabab Mohammedia. As Baba skips away from one. Didn't really have a positive outlet there. Trimat to Shaksheh. Now Kairi. Progress stopped on the flank. Lamloui! Well hit. But a good save from Yaqub Suleiman. Osama Lamloui on the turn, firing off an excellent half volley. The man who scored a brace against DR Congo. He has 3 in his last 2 and has been finally afforded an opportunity in the lineup. Did have an excellent season with Ares Berkan, 10 goals and 21 league appearances. But it's really in the CAF Confederation Cup where he shone. 4 goals in the knockout stages, including one in the final against Simba, where he came up against Kagoma, Kapombe and Hussein. He's looking to terrorize them again tonight. Yeah. Dixon Job spotting Clinton Zize, couldn't control under pressure. Green. Sopu receiving from Irinaro. Feitoto. This is Kagoma. Hussein. Jaye from Kapom. Udatir Yaye, seeing a lot of it right now. Born in Young Ombe in Zanzibar. Made his debut 10 years ago now for Tanzania in 2015 in AFCON qualifying. Here he is once again. Can't work it successfully to Kapombe. Khimit Suleiman. Khimit Suleiman celebrated his 55th birthday 2 days after their opening day win over Burkina Faso. Former under-20 coach, who in his time as a club manager did face Raja Casablanca with Namungo FC in the CAF Confederation Cup group stages back in 2021, although they lost both of those games. Forward by Balamai. particularly accurate from the 26-year-old from Rabat. A good surging run here from Ulaksu. It's past the midway point in this opening period. It turned from Rimat, man of the match, last time out against DRC. A little bit too much on that ball in behind from Sabir Boukrin. I was mentioning he's born in Mechelen in Belgium. Like many of those who play in what will be considered the first choice international side for Morocco, born outside of the country's borders, and it's only in the last 2 years that he's actually played club football in Morocco, joining Raja in 2023. It's Clemden Zize who switched flanks. Torments Mshakshek now. Mshakshek, just 21 years of age. Made a very brief cameo against DRC. Those were his first minutes in the competition. With the coach perhaps realizing that he would almost certainly be forced to play in their quarter-final match with Bushab Arasi and Marwan Luadni having picked up yellow cards going into that game on the cusp of a suspension. 2 yellow cards resulting in a suspension. Yellow cards wiped out at the end of the group stages, but not if, for example, you had 1 card going into that final group game and you get another. That carries over to the knockouts. Same would be true for a red card. Anasba. That's good interplay. Zize. Laying it off for Sopu, a striker who loves to drop in deep. Feitoto. Sopu. Gaye. Decent job to Ibrahim Hamad, better known as Baka. Here he is again. He's routinely had the most touches and most successful passes for Tanzania across their previous matches. And considering that they did dominate their group matches, he's been the player with the most touches and passes in those games across both teams. Not to mention his aerial prowess, as that one just gets away from Zize. Over 18 months in charge now for Himad Suleiman. Took over from Adel Amrouche. Funnily enough, after he was suspended by CAF and then fired by the TFF during the Africa Cup of Nations following their defeat to Morocco in their opening group game. Then on match day 1 in Group F, lost 3-0, Amrouche dismissed. Himad took over and he oversaw a 1-1 draw with Zambia, a 0-0 draw with DRC. It wasn't enough for them to progress, but he has steadily built this team back up from the ground up. Slightly overcooked, runs away here from Clemden Zize. Valamari, who's been ever present at this tournament. He's good going forward. 4 assists and a couple of goals in 23 league appearances for Raja Casablanca last season. He's actually managed 25 assists in the league over the past half dozen years. He had a few in the most recent edition of the CAF Champions League. Now he has some defensive duties to do as Kapombe sets up Muratia Yaya and over the top acrobatically from Clement Mzize. Well, he's in the kind of form where he's willing to try anything. He did make a clean connection, but
this 2025 beIN Sports Extra is jam-packed with the sports you love, featuring an epic year, the best international leagues and tournaments, Olympic sports, and so much more. This 2025 on beIN Sports Extra. More sports, more excitement, always free, 24/7.
Away by Sopo to Klimat. Shasha. Soon seen a day before him. That kill was a nice idea from Bulaksu. Joined Raja Casablanca in 2022. First season with them, managed to get to the quarterfinals of the CAF Champions League. They were knocked out by Al Ali though. Good skills from Feitoto. Kapombe receiving from Irinado and looking for him once again. Irinado down under the challenge of Anas Bach, who intimates that he won the ball with a little hand gesture, and the referee agrees. And he says the ball's been won cleanly again, this time off of Khalid Baba. Valamari continues. Zahir gets the touch, takes it through to Suleiman. These two sides met in March in World Cup qualifying in Wijda, the Stade d'Honneur. Morocco winning 2-0. Agued and Brahim Diaz scoring. On that day, Tanzania fielded their current backline and goalkeeper, as well as Yahya, Mzize and Faisal Saloum. 9 out of the 11 starters were local. Only exceptions, Simon Fuba and Novatus Liroshi. Feitoto hooks it across, but only Sopu waiting and well guarded by the Moroccan backline. Morocco currently lead their group in World Cup qualifying, 15 points. They will comfortably go through. Tanzania on second on 9 points. Eritrea have withdrawn. There's actually no current word on what's going to happen with that situation. It does affect Tanzania's ability to become one of the 4 best second place teams, which are currently Gabon, and then Cameroon, Senegal, and Namibia, who are all on 12 points. So they will play the game more. So if you were to assume they would get the 3 points from Eritrea, they too would be on 12 points. Then for those 4 teams, there's a playoff for 1 spot in the Intercontinental Playoffs. It's very difficult to get to the World Cup from second place, but it is possible as the bodies go flying and the card flies in the face of Bulaksut. It's the first that's been issued today. Clement Mzize on the receiving end of little tug. Oh, and then it's Feitoto on the end of the tug. It's Clement Mzize who feels the force of the sliding challenge. Dished out 4 yellow cards in Morocco's game against Angola and 5 when Guinea drew with Algeria in the 2 previous assignments he's had at this tournament. The clear and from range, the ball struck firmly but into bodies. Jaye flung out here to Kapombe, has plenty of time to measure the cross in. It's an improvised attempt from a man who loves the audacious, has a penchant for producing the spectacular. It's back with Clement Mzize. Chooses to try and play in a teammate. Hit by Kapombe, but into the body of Trimat. Thought Clement Mzize might try and pull the trigger there, having scored a spectacular long-range goal in the CAF Champions League against TP Mazembe, now given away cheaply. But Morocco don't have enough bodies forward to capitalize. Pinged into the space behind, but just running away from Feitoto. Now the ball slightly behind him from Kapombe's cross. Trying to maybe flick it in with his heel on the turn. A man who earlier this year won the Mapinduzi Cup representing Zanzibar against Tanzania. Burkina Faso also in the mix. They beat them in the final. First time that prestigious tournament has ever included national teams rather than club sides. Man who was instrumental in qualifying them for the Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. He scored twice in qualifying, including on match day 5 a 2-0 win against Ethiopia that kept them in it.
This 2025 beIN Sports Extra is jam-packed with the sports you love, featuring an epic year, the best international leagues and tournaments, Olympic sports, and so much more. This 2025 on beIN Sports Extra. More sports, more excitement, always free, 24/7.
25-year-old born in Marrakesh. Titleist with Ares Berkan. Been with him 2 seasons since joining from Hassania Agadir. Been to the last 2 CAF Champions League finals. Just watching some of the dignitaries up there. Alice Currier is the TFF president, right in the middle with the black cap. Now shot from distance. So Yusuf Kagoma asking questions of his defense. What a terrific effort from Bulaksut. Former under-23 international. So he's capable of goals. Scored a couple for Raja Casablanca in the season past. Bababa, it's a poor corner and an easy take for Suleiman. Shaksheh is down. They're a little light at the back now as numbers pour forward for Tanzania, but at that critical moment, the pass not good enough, and now the referee will call a halt to play. Well, Tariq Sektui incensed on behalf of Shaksheh. Here's a look at that earlier attempt. The defence just kept backing off and backing off. And Akub Suleiman asking that a little pressure be applied. Decent ball forward. Got a lot of game time towards the end of the season with Raja. He was initially playing second fiddle to the veteran Anas Zniti, who then moved to the UAE in January, and 24-year-old Al Harar became the first choice. Hussein. Can't find him, Zize. Morocco eyeing 3 successive victories, for the first time since their previous appearance in the Chan tournament in 2020 when they won it. Claimed 4 successive victories on that occasion. Actually only suffered 1 defeat in their last 17 Chan games. The 1-0 loss to Kenya at this edition. 14 wins and 2 draws over that time. It's a remarkable record. So for Tanzania to get the victory tonight would be some accomplishment. That deflects off the boots of Kairi and into the hands of Al Harar. This is Jaye. Down the line for Kapombe. Whilst Hussein has been a little more conservative on the opposite flank, Kapombe has had a license to get forward with frequency. Al Harar. Kagoma seeking to thread a ball through, but his pass in the end appearing rather aimless. Tanzania have hit the target just once so far in this match. That was through Faisal Salum. And that's from 5 attempts that they've had. Morocco 3 from 3 in front of goal. And Suleiman has stood firm. Hamad. No one's executed more accurate passes than he has. 35 in total at the moment with a 95% accuracy. He's on the ball again. Sends it out wide for Yaye. Kapombe. Turns it infield. Yaye. Kagoma. Hamad. Hussein. Irinado. He can provide that spark they need. Kagoma. Hit it clear. Seized upon by Sapu. Here is Abdul Suleiman once again, better known as Sapu. Very mobile forward. Is not afraid to move around the pitch. But whenever he vacates that centre forward position, there's always someone to slot in. Clement Mzize, Fate Toto. Never without a central outlet. Kapombe. It's away by Kair. Kapombe to Mzize. Still they move it on. Clement Mzize with the big moment. Oh! He struck it tamely straight down the throats of Al Mehdi Al Harar. Best moments of this quarter-final comes in first half stoppage time. And it falls the way of Tanzania's star, Clement Mzize. Now up the other end, Morocco may be in with a chance. There's a foul by Osama Lamloui. Another look at this opportunity. Deft touch from Sapu to just feather it into the path of Clement Mzize, who had to re-establish his balance and then was forced to dig the ball out from under his feet. He's no stranger to scoring crucial goals. He did on the penultimate day of the league season, as young Africans came up against their bitter rivals Simba in a game that had been postponed for months, with just 1 point separating them. And by the end of the match, Clement Mzize on the score sheet in a 2-0 win. They had a 4-point buffer that could not be overhauled on the final day. That's the whistle to signal the end of what has been a terrific opening period of football. Al Harar only called upon to make 2 saves, the second of which came in injury time to deny Clement Mzize, but in truth, it wasn't an altogether testing shot. At the other end, Yaqub Suleiman has made 3 saves of his own, and yet it remains deadlocked after 45 minutes. 0-0 in Dar es Salaam.
Los partidos son indescriptibles. For those who know and those about to, conocerás el fútbol como ningún otro. ¿Estás listo?
Watch Extraclasse. Watch Extraclasse. Watch Extraclasse. Live only on BN Sports.
so bright, my aura blinding. Diamonds in my mind, the glimmer shines all night. Beaming so divine, my colors intertwine, making designs. I'm gonna make my own lane, nothing's gonna get in my way. I don't wanna wait, no time to waste. Come on, let's chase the sun. Open the gates, trust in fate. Nothing's gonna rain on my parade. Pick up the pace, don't be late. Come on, let's chase the sun. I'm gonna make my own lane. Nothing's gonna get in my way. I don't wanna wait, no time to waste. Come on, let's chase the sun. Open the gates, trust in fate. Nothing's gonna rain on my parade. Pick up the pace, don't be late. Come on, let's chase the sun.
Giants of America play here. Flamengo, three-time Copa Libertadores champion, one-time Recopa Sudamericana winners. The Copa Libertadores, exclusively on beIN Sports.
So quarter-final, number 2, between Tanzania and Morocco at the Benjamin Mkapa National Stadium in Dar es Salaam. Tanzania's first ever foray into the knockouts of a major continental competition. Morocco, two-time winners of the African Nations Championship. Fate Toto from a tight angle, testing Al Mehdi Al Harar on target. The goalkeeper had to get gloves behind that one. Then at the other end, Morocco having chances of their own. Osama Lamloui, who's jointly the leading scorer at this tournament, with 3 on the turn, pinging an effort at Suleiman. Rebounded into potential danger, but Tanzania scrambling it clear. Then this one slightly behind Fate Toto, the delivery in from Shomari Kabombe. He still did well to contort his body and get something on it. And always heading off target. Jakub Suleiman forced to stay alert as the fullback Hulaksut pulled the trigger from range. Not particularly pleased with his defense, who continued to back off to allow that shot in. Then this moment, an unbelievably delicate pass from Sopu into the path of Clement Mzize, who rode one challenge, but when it came to the crucial moments of trying to force the ball,
The Giants of America play here. Peñarol, 5-time Copa Libertadores champion, 3-time Copa Intercontinental winner. The Copa Libertadores, exclusively on beIN Sports. These are two of the most exciting basketball leagues in North America, the Basketball League and the Basketball Super League. This is entertainment at its best. Don't miss the action. Only on BN Sports Extra. For those who know, and those about to. For the roots you remember, or the passion you've yet to feel. Welcome home. The Polish Ekstraklasa, only on BN Sports. Giants of America play here, Botafogo. In 2024, they claimed their first ever Copa Libertadores title, and they are the current champions. The Copa Libertadores, exclusively on BN Sports. The Giants of America play here. Peñarol, 5-time Copa Libertadores champion, 3-time Copa Intercontinental winner. The Copa Libertadores, exclusively on BN Sports.
bright, my aura blinding. Diamonds in my mind, the glimmer shines all night. Beaming so divine, my colors intertwine, making designs. I'm gonna make my own lane, nothing's gonna get in my way. I don't wanna wait, no time to waste. Come on, let's chase the sun. Open the gates, trust and fate. Nothing's gonna rain on my parade. Pick up the pace, don't be late. Come on, let's chase the sun. I'm gonna make my own lane. Nothing's gonna get in my way. I don't wanna wait, no time to waste. Come on, let's chase the sun.
This is the ultimate combat arena where skill meets intent. Welcome to the Knockout Room. MMA, karate, wrestling, bare knuckle boxing, and much more. The Knockout Room, only on the...
It's evenly poised in this quarter-final matchup between Tanzania and Morocco to determine who will be heading through to the last four at the 8th edition of the Total Energies African Nations Championship. Both sides have had opportunities to go ahead, and neither have been able to break the deadlock. Tanzania in the knockouts for the very first time at a Chan tournament. This is the 11th game at the African Nations Championship. Morocco becoming the 10th different opponent that they faced. Morocco had beaten all their East African opponents, or never lost to the East African opponents, before defeats to Kenya earlier in this tournament. The first time, though, they are facing an East African team in the knockouts in what is for them a long history at this stage. Morocco, 7 back in 2014 when Nigeria came from 3 goals down to beat them 4-3 in extra time. So they have won 6 straight knockout games, and all 6 of those wins have been in open play. We did see that the previous match between Kenya and Madagascar, who couldn't be separated after 120 minutes at 1-1, did have to go through to penalties as we get back underway here. It's something that's happened half a dozen times previously before this tournament at the quarterfinal stage. 6 penalty shootouts in across 10 quarterfinal matches at Chan that have needed extra time. In fact, at the previous edition in Algeria was the first time that all of the quarterfinals were settled in regulation time. Ball cleared away by Bach, but straight to an opponent. Yaye just apologizing for a fairly woeful effort. Bach, the goalkeeper, Harar and Sheikh. Bach with the most touches of any Moroccan player out there in the opening period. But unsurprisingly, Ibrahim Hamad for Tanzania ruling the roost in that particular regard. Here's Dixon Job, centre-half partner, who's been equally composed at the back. It is one of the traits that a modern centre-half must possess, being comfortable on the ball, being able to dispense it forward with accuracy. Mshaksheh to Al-Harar. Now Bach. And really broke through at Fusrabat in the 2018-19 season, although he had a few appearances a couple of years prior to that as a teenager. Now finally got his big move to Asfa at the beginning of last season. Mohamed Hussein. Kagoma seeking to lift it to the flank. Yusuf Kagoma, who's sitting on a yellow card currently. He, along with Bulaksu, the only two players have been cautioned. Pressure on Harar again, this time from Clement Mzize. Nicely done by Kairi to find Lamlui. Klimat. Brings such poise to the midfield, 31 years of age now. Shashir. Relax. Can't force his way past Ilinado. He's found Feitoto. Clement Mzize. Kagoma. Hussein. Feitoto drills it to the opposite flank. Sopu. There's Sopu again. Feitoto. It's a lovely ball in behind. Flag stays down. Jakub Suleiman is off his line and the balls come straight back at Lamlui. He has to make a second save, which he successfully executes. Bulaksu now. Then he's fouled. Morocco have a free kick in a great area, but before Tanzania can worry about that, they have some concerns over their goalminder. Almost hung out to dry by his defense on two occasions. Well, he comes off his line brilliantly, makes the save with the studs of his boots, and then he's able to make a second stop after Mohamed Hussein returns the ball straight to Lamlui. Manula warming up in anticipation of the worst case scenario, but Suleiman looks like he's good to go. That man, Tariq Sektui, led Aris Berkan to the CAF Confederation Cup title back in 2020. That was actually their first Confederation Cup title, which they've now won 3 times. They beat Pyramids in that final. The reigning CAF Champions League champions. Barrier has been assembled. They flick it over the top. And Jakub Suleiman again with elite reflexes to respond to the danger. They were anticipating a direct free kick. It didn't come. I think it's an excellent call by the first assistant, Emerson Dong. A really nice idea from Morocco. Hamad hoists it forward. Zize with the flick. Gets his head on the ball again. Forward by Yusuf Mehri. Mehri has really not seen all too much of it. He and Khalid Baba, the two wide men in attack, have had fewer touches than anyone else on the park. Barely involved up to this point. Lamlui. With Kagoma, it's come off a little worse for wear.
This 2025 beIN Sports Extra is jam-packed with the sports you love, featuring an epic year, the best international leagues and tournaments, Olympic sports, and so much more. This 2025 on beIN Sports Extra. More sports, more excitement, always free, 24/7.
Simba Man has stayed down. Signed him last year, about a year ago from Singida Fountain Gate. He's formerly with Gator Gold before that. So let's have a look at the contribution of Jakub Suleiman up to this point. A man who has now made 5 saves in this game. Doesn't think it's good enough from his defense, and he probably has a point. Louis will be patched up, as well Kagoma. Kagoma's remained seated. A man who doesn't have particularly fond memories of coming up against Moroccan opponents in recent times. Kagoma was sent off in the second leg, their home leg in the CAF Confederation Cup final against Ares Berkane. They came into that game trailing 2-0 after the away leg, but they had pulled one back, so it was 2-1 at that point, and they really did look as though they could mount a successful comeback, and Kagoma was sent off. And from there, Berkane were able to equalize, and the game was effectively over. So potentially a redemptive night for him from a personal perspective, just in terms of Moroccan opponents, and several of the players out there this evening he faced on that fateful day. By Yusuf Mehri. Mudatir Yahya is penalized. Yaya scored one of the most important goals in recent memory for Tanzania. He was the winner on match day 2 in their most recent qualifiers against Guinea, a side that eventually they went on to pip by 1 point in Group H. This, by the way, upcoming will be Tanzania's 4th appearance at the Africa Cup of Nations. They've qualified now for 3 of the last 4 since 2019, having only appeared in 1980 prior to that. So when I mentioned at the start of this game that Tanzanian football, buoyed by the influence of their powerful club sides and the inclusion of so many locally based players, it was certainly not hyperbole. They really are on the up and up in recent years. Constantly going back to his goalkeeper as Shakhsher over the course of this game. He's passed to him 8 times in total, which is more than he's passed to any other player on the field. Leonardo's done tremendously well here. And he still has it. Now he's been successfully dispossessed. 3 Max. Taken away from Lamlui. Clement Mzize. Can't find the touchdown for Yaya. Max. Spinning away from Zize, who's tugged on his shirt. He's rightfully penalised. Lamlui does really well to work the ball out to Mehri. Suleiman stumbled. Yaya wins it. Well, only in 2014 against Nigeria. And then in their semi-final against Libya in 2018, which they ultimately won 3-1, have Morocco gone to extra time. But none of their knockout games have gone to penalties. They've all been won in open play. Kairi with the challenge on Yaya. And really... awful infringement. Dragging back the diminutive Tanzania midfielder. Had that been further up the field, I'm sure he would not have escaped a booking. Goma getting there ahead of Mehri. Terrific touch from Mechri. And Jakob Suleiman has flung himself at the ball and grabbed it at the feet of Lamlui. Well, he's already made 5 saves, which is more than he's previously had to produce in any of their 4 matches up to this point. And whilst that won't go down as a save, it's just as critical. Tanzania in front of their home fans, having the tournament of their dreams. As it's worked out here to Edinado. This is where he excels. Well, he stung the palms of the goalkeeper, and he knows he would have been better served cutting it back a little further. Now Morocco with Mechri. He's nutmegged Mzize. He responds to that humiliation by dragging down the Moroccan winger. Remarkably, just 2 wins across their previous 6 games combined coming into this tournament, and already 3 at this year's finals. Working hard to try and make it 4 against the 2-time winners. One of only 2 winners that made it through to the last 8 of this competition. Senegal, the incumbent champs. The only other former winners present in the quarterfinals. That's a delightful ball played across to Lamlui. Opens the scoring for Morocco. That's 4 goals in 3 matches. And a hush blankets the Benjamin Mkapa National Stadium. Stunned silence around the stands as Tanzania, for the first time at this tournament, find themselves behind. Threaded through expertly, and then Lamlui on hand to convert. And a cross from Yusuf Balamari. And he now stands alone as the leading scorer at this competition. Frantically scribbling notes is Jakob Suleiman, working out a plan to get the Taifa Stars back into this game. Bandaged, but not in any way demoralized. Usama Lamlui with the crucial touch past a man who had seemed, up to this point, to be unbreachable. Jakob Suleiman, who had already denied him a couple of times. And Usama Lamlui, with his 5th shot and his 5th on target this evening, finally sticks it away. Well, in response, it appears as though They are preparing Nasser Hamoud. Currently plays his football for Azam Football Club. Dar es Salaam born. Recently back in the country, beginning of previous season following stints in Egypt and Serbia. Bolaksu. Mekri wins the corner. Having produced a fairly underwhelming showing in the first hour, Bulgarin. His delivery in, not yet cleared. Now it's away. Falls at the feet of Anasbach, who strikes it well. Lots of fierce hits. Deflects off Dixon Job. And behind for another corner. And that stop and play presents the perfect juncture for Tanzania to implement their change. And it is so, Hamoud off the bench once again as Morocco look for their second. Actually might had it taken off his toes just as he was about to strike. Baka. Hussein. This is Clement Mzize. Mzize's ball in. Claimed by Harar. Worked out now to the right-hand flank. Hamoud's first involvement. Sees the ball get away from him. Man who's now come on as a sub for the fourth time. Yeah. Oh, he wriggles his way free. Come on! Oh! Good effort from the substitutes. Tanzania will not go down without a fight. That you can be sure of. Marvelous skill from Muratir Yaye. Yeah, a fairly decent effort from Hamoud as well. Here is Mohamed Mufid. He will be replacing Bulgarin, a man who played his football all over the world: Belgium, France, Luxembourg, Azerbaijan, before eventually moving to Esperance and then on to Raja, making himself eligible for this competition. He departs. On comes Mufid, man who joined Wydad Casablanca last year, played every minute at the Club World Cup, and was the man who supplied the assist for Cassius Mailula to score the opener against Al Ain, a game that they did go on to lose, however. Hooked to Baka by Dixon Job. Hamoud. Position relinquished by Yaye. Baba. Over the top for Lamlui. Very well read. by Baka. Sopu. Taken clear by Anas Bak. Played in the CAF Champions League for the very first time last season with the ISFA. Got out of a group that actually included Raja Casablanca and Mamelodi Sundowns. Lost to Pyramids, the eventual champions, in the quarterfinals. Came on late in the game. They lost 4-1 when they were already down by 4-1, and then helped them keep a clean sheet in the second leg where he played the whole game. 2-0 win. Better from a Tanzania perspective. Zize and Hamoud, who provide heights, awaiting the cross. Feitoto. Hussein to Baka. Feitoto. Yaya. Mehri now for Morocco. Mufid. Back to Shaksheh. Bellamari goes racing forward. The man who Morocco in their previous 7 knockout games had scored 21 goals and conceded just 6, 4 of which came against Nigeria. They are looking for clean sheet number 5 in their 8th knockout game, which would be enough to send them through to the semi-finals. From deep. Madagascar already in the last 4. They do not await the winner of this game, though. That is victorious between Uganda and Senegal. Face the winner of this game in Kampala. Idinaro. Clementon Zize's touch just not quite tight enough. Lamluri. Mehri. Now Mufi. Trimat.
This 2025 beIN Sports Extra is jam-packed with the sports you love, featuring an epic year, the best international leagues and tournaments, Olympic sports, and so much more. This 2025 on beIN Sports Extra. More sports, more excitement, always free, 24/7.
Lamlui. Ball gets away from him now. Idinaro attempting to send Clementon Zize on his way. Shakshet Solzamadami. And they've escaped that pressure brilliantly. Harar dispenses it upfield. Sopu comes to collect. Taken away from him by Baba. Rimat. Olaksu. Well, they've barely given Tanzania a touch in the last few minutes. This is unbelievable game management from Morocco. Now they could spring into action. Mufid. Good tackle from Mohamed Hussein. Laksut. Bends it over. Try change for Morocco with 23-year-olds. I mean, Suwan coming on, he replaces Ayub Kairi. Second sub appearance for Suwan. Celebrate his 24th birthday next month. Now Pascal Msindo will enter the fray in place of Sopu. Msindo, who debuted for the senior team in AFCON qualifying, began in September of 2024. Idinado can't get his cross past the first man. Hussein. Feitoto. Yeah. Into the final 10 minutes of regulation time here. So, poor touch from Hussein. Still just the 2 shots on target for Tanzania, compared to half a dozen for Morocco. Clement Mzize, space on the edge of the area now for Yaya, and Hamoud has spooned it over. Really got under that. Set up by Yaya. Issues persisting for Jamlui. But if he departs having provided them the platform to progress. Deft touch from the 29-year-olds who starred in the Confederation Cup this past season. Has already put a Tanzanian club side to the sword. Actually, applying a little bit of pressure here, but really allowing Feitoto to just glide forward. Hamoud pings it towards the back post. Tumbling down does Haras. Along with Anasba. Coming up from the back to convert a very similar cross to that from Edinado. And Morocco have conceded. Three outings, albeit in their previous two, they were 3-1 winners of Zambia and then DRC. But they've conceded nonetheless. Huge amounts of anxiety in the stands. Mohamed Suleiman wants his side to lift their game. They can produce when there's pressure. They did so in the AFCON qualifiers. They needed a win in their final game to jump above Guinea in their final qualifier in Dar es Salaam. Sam Suva, who currently plays in Iraq, scored the only goal in that game. As Lamluri becomes the latest recipient of a card. Doesn't remain the latest recipient for long. Tariq Situ had one flashed in his face. Man who led the under-23s to bronze at the Paris Olympics. They beat Egypt 6-0 in that match, having lost to Spain 2-1 in the semi-finals. Feitoto's ball cut out. This is Bulaksut in for Lamlui, away by Dixon Job. Khalid Baba all the way back to Anasba. Hamoud is onside. The flag at least has stayed down for now. Sane races onto it. Edinado down. Soleimani Ali, as he's christened, known to most as Edinado, plays for Azam Football Club. Approaching his 30th birthday now, a man who debuted as a teenager for Ashanti City. Made his national team debut now 6 years ago, qualifying for the 2020 Chan tournament. past fellow East African side Kenya on penalties to send them through. Speaking of Kenya, will they be joining them in the losers column and exiting this tournament? Leaving Uganda as the solitary remaining hosts. Uganda coming up against Senegal in Kampala tomorrow. Give it away to Yaya. Took a little while to set himself before delivering that forward. Jamdu. The ball to find the sub, Suan. Into the final minute of regulation time as it's claimed by Yaqub Suleiman. Powers it forward. Where Hamoud has seized upon it. And illegally so, according to the match referee. One-year-old Shaksheh going down. Try and find the equalizer, try and force. Yeah, knocks it long. Hamoud. Zize attempts the spectacular for the second time in the match. Went for an overhead kick in the first half. This time catching Mufid, who'd already cleared. Seconds of the 6 additional minutes have come and gone. Laksu clearly pulled back there by Faye Toto. Yellow card for Faisal Salum. Morocco will be introducing another defender, Faoud Zawani. And Lamloui finally departs. Well, the crowd crowd voicing their displeasure with another call that's gone against them. And Mohammed Hussein getting involved as he wants to speed the process along. Well, now is the time where we customarily see antics from the team that are leading. It's Tanzania's assertion that there's a little bit of play acting going on. There was certainly no play acting when Lamlui clashed with Kagoma, the blood visible through the heavy strapping on his head. But it did nothing to hamper him in his efforts up front, as he was finally the man to break the deadlock. So Morocco with the free kick. It has been kept in. They might be able to seal it here. Headed away by Baka. Oh, so desperate are they to defend this lead that they're tackling each other here, Morocco. Mufid flying in on Bulaksu. Cleared away by the substitute, Sahuani. Need to show urgency here. Drilled for by Feitoto. Hamoud attacks it. It's a horrible coming together here, and I think a young centre-half may have been knocked out. And as much as Hamoud is stricken as well, less of the concern is for him. He's moving. Mshakshek is motionless. Now sparks fly. Tempers flare in Morocco's 18-yard area. And the referee quickly intervening in the melee. For his role, gets a yellow card. forward by Feitoto. Mufid away. Yaye. Dispossessed by Mechri, who's really grown into this game. A man who came into the match with 3 assists, leading the way in that regard in the tournament. Fairly tepid first half display. Bulaksu. In his last 3 outings, to win Chan 3 times, they dump out the hosts. Well, they fought so hard, did Tanzania, who until this match had not once been behind, had conceded only once in 4 games. Lamlui is the hero. A man who's building on his terrific season, his title-winning season with Ares Berkan. Continental success in the Confederation Cup as well. And he's hoping to leverage that into more African Nations Championship glory as we go to our man of the match for his steady display in the center of the park. It's the Atlas Lion skipper.
Let's bet on Africa. OneXBet.
Here, we're known for our sense of service. It's all about finding ways to support you. Day after day, doing everything we can to be useful and providing energy in all its forms. Everywhere, every time, all across the continent.
The African Nations Championship knockout phase moves forward. Quarterfinals, 2 amazing games. Uganda versus Senegal, Sudan versus Algeria. Tomorrow, live on beIN Sports Extra.
Shimmering so bright, my aura blinding. Diamonds in my mind, the glimmer shines all night. night, beaming so divine, my colors intertwine, making designs. I'm gonna make my own lane, nothing's gonna get in my way. I don't wanna wait, no time to waste. Come on, let's chase the sun. Open the gates, trust in fate. Nothing's gonna rain on my parade. Pick up the pace, don't be late. Come on, let's chase the sun. I'm gonna make my own lane. Nothing's gonna get in my way. I don't wanna wait, no time to waste. Come on, let's chase the sun.
Premier Paddle hits peak season intensity. The tour's next stop will be Madrid, serving as a high-profile warm-up for the Paris Major from September 2nd through the 7th, live on beIN Sports Extra.
Here in London, tell us what it is that you're looking forward to this weekend.
I mean, it's just amazing. You spoke to 5,000 age groupers who are here, you know, everybody's bringing a friend. There is just more energy. There's a bit of a show. It just feels like a true... What makes it really special.
Fantastic. Okay, let's get into the season itself in just a moment or two. But first of all, here are the T's and C's of the T100. If you're new to watching, we'll just quickly take you through how it all stacks up. We've got 40 contracted athletes. We've got 20 in the men, and we've got 20 in the women as well. It is a global season. That means we've got 9 races worldwide, of which London is the 4th stop. Athletes must race a minimum of 5. There's a cool $7 million in the prize pot. All roads lead to Qatar for the World Championship final, where there are more points available. But here in London, it is the standard 35 points for first place, all the way down to 1 point for 20th. And just before we get into some of the names that are racing here, just give us your view, Vicky, on what we've had so far in the first 3 stages of this year's T100.
Well, for me, the real standout point is that so far, 6 races, 3 female winners, 3 different male winners. We've never had that. It's just different winners every time. It really just